Hello and thank you for joining the Tuesday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. Today on the program, Senator Opeyemi Bamidele emerges, Senate leader Tambuwal loses out as APC disowned decision over appointment of principal officers. And later on the show, JAMB withdraws Mesoma Ejimeke's UTME result, bans her for 3 years as examination board provides startling evidence against her. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Dotun Oladipo. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. Politics is defined by constant struggle for power and consolidation of power. The battle of the 10th Senate's leadership reached conclusion when the president of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, announced names of the remaining principal officers. According to the names announced, Senator Opeyemi Bamidele from Ekiti Central is the majority leader, while Senator Dave Omahi from Ebonyi South is the deputy majority leader. Also, Senator Ali Dume from Borno South emerged as the Senate majority whip, and Lola Ashiru from Kwara South as deputy majority whip. Other principal officers include Senator Simon Davo Wakedon of the People's Democratic Party from Plateau North as the minority leader. It defeated Aminu Tambuwal, Abdul Ningil, and Adamu Alero. Oyewumi Olalere from Osun West is the deputy majority leader. Meanwhile, the All Progressive Congress, APC, National Working Committee has disowned the decision, saying it is not aware of the conclusion made by the National Assembly leadership on its principal officer. Jide, what is this? Is this not becoming a kind of interference? And we thought that the initial election they had and everything, that they would, yes, now the senators within themselves, they would choose other principal officers and everything, and it shouldn't be a big deal to the ruling party.
I honestly don't see why political parties want to always choose leaders for the National Assembly. I think it infringes on their independence to go that far. Remember, in 2019, the Minority Caucus in the House of Reps insisted on Ndudi Elumelu as their leader. Former Governor Wike and others were extremely angry. They threatened that they were going to punish the lawmakers. And the lawmakers said, look, it's not your place to choose our leader for us. We need someone that we can work with, someone that is accessible, someone that we freely choose. At the end of the day, Ndudi Elumelu remained the Minority Caucus leader for the House of Reps. History has repeated itself again. What I've seen from the appointments made from the people, from the principal officers that have emerged, is a reward for those who pushed the Akpabio agenda vigorously.
Yeah.
You know, those lawmakers that were in the forefront, that campaigned and all that. And those of them too who moved very close to the president once he got sworn in and all that. We've seen them already rewarded based on the list that we have seen. a lot of us knew that
Senator
majority
Michael
leader,
Opeyemi
Opeyemi Bamidele,
yes, from time.
become the majority leader because we knew what he wanted and all that. And we saw him getting very close to the president. When he, upon his arrival, you will see him. You will see Olamilekon, Yayi, and the rest of the. And
those are the people that pushed for the Akpabio.
yes, from the beginning. And you saw that even Alindo Metru, the Borno senator from Borno South, initially wanted to contest. He was talked out of contesting, and he became the campaign chairman. So the Akpabio staunch supporters, they've been rewarded. Of course, what it means is that some of them who did not support him aggressively, who are just maybe nominally supportive, they have lost out. And such people will feel that, look, what's going on? This Senate belongs to all of us. It shouldn't be Akpabio's kitchen cabinet alone that will dominate the principal officer. So politics, as I always say, is an interest-driven game. Once you get into politics, it's your interest that is paramount. You are not so much concerned about the interest of your fellow competitors, for the positions available. But those ones who still think that, look, why have we been sidelined? Why have we not been given anything? Such people will find in the party a listening ear. And for me, the comments that the national chairman of the party made, his opening remarks, are symptomatic of a big problem within the APC. I've seen Saliu Lukman complain that the national chairman runs a one-man show. That he doesn't call NWC meetings, he doesn't call NEC meetings and all that. Now, he's the chairman who is speaking like someone who had been sidelined in this matter. Because he's saying you will get an update of the national election in the National Assembly, sharing of power, particularly leadership of the chambers, the election of the principal officers of the Senate by the Senate President and Deputy Senate President, the election of the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker has been determined and announced, and their responsibility. The remaining offices, what he's saying, I am just hearing as a rumor now from the online media that there have been some announcements in the Senate and the House of Representatives. The national headquarters of the party of the NWC has not given any such information or communicated about the choice of offices. And until we formally resolve and communicate with them in writing, which is the norm and practice, it is not our intention to break away from tradition. So whatever announcement is done either by the President of the Senate, Deputy Senate President, Speaker, or Deputy Speaker is not from the Secretariat. We are going to formally inform you that we are going to have a caucus, and for quite a time, there has been no caucus in place. The caucus has been constituted according to the constitution of the APC, and we will be discussing that with you as governors. You will know your states more than we know it. Even if we came from the same state, the leadership is in you as governors. So we will hear your advice and then see how we can ensure that we comply with the provisions of the constitution of the party. So I think I was saying this to governors
that were present at the
well, clearly it is not good enough for us to be reading things like this. Before this kind of the party must not be seen to be working across purposes.
Honestly, it's like the APC is becoming overbearing. Well, from the looks of things, if the chairman can come out like this, the National Assembly, they reconvened today after their Salah break, and the audience is on the Senate President to choose the leadership of the National Assembly. Why are you saying it is when a list from the party emerges?
We've said it several times on this show, and there have been complaints from several quarters, not just Saliu Lukman. There have been complaints that the chairman has been running that place singular-deadly. You know, just last week, they said there will be the meeting of the NWC and the caucus of the party. That should not be something that happens only after complaints. It should be a regular thing. Because the way we knew political parties in this country, they were the ones that used to shape the policy direction of the government. And the national chairman doesn't do that alone. Maybe that's why a lot of people believe that we had stronger parties in the past than what we have now, where elected political office holders, they now control the affairs of the government instead of the party. Because the party has its own structure, it has its own agenda, which a lot of times these political office holders don't adhere to because you don't see anybody galvanizing what should happen at that level of government. That's why governors have suddenly become head of the parties in their states instead of the state chairman. That's why the president has suddenly become the head of the party instead of the national chairman. Especially in a situation like this, where the national chairman is running a one-man show. And when you look at it, that was what killed the People's Democratic Party gradually after 1999, when every power resided in either the president or the governors at the state level. It was that bad. But I also think that the chairman wasn't paying attention to what has been going on in the National Assembly and the tendencies that played out in the process that led to the emergence of the Senate President, his deputy, the Speaker, and his deputy. Because when you look at what has been done now, critically, you will see that those areas where there have been complaints, there has been what I see as a move to placate those states. Plateau is featuring prominently in the scheme of things. The Southeast.
Not central.
Yes, not central. Because we said ordinarily part of the leadership should have come from the North Central. Especially Plateau. And more, especially in the case of the House of Representatives. This was not done. And clearly those people were very angry, and which could break the party. We saw it in the election in the Senate, where the man who did not even have the support of the party, lost by the person who had the support of the party, lost to him by just 17 votes. That should clearly show the leadership of the party that they must be careful going forward. Otherwise, if, like the minority threatened, they had decided to go ahead and field candidates for some of these positions, they would have come together with those who are aggrieved in the APC to upset a lot of things. So the national chairman should pay attention to these politics. Nigerians are also watching. APC should not think that it's the only one who has interest in the leadership of the National Assembly. Nigerians too. The Southeast is angry. The North Central is angry. How do you placate them? And when you look at this list, what are you going to do? Does it not seem like a semblance of what the people want? And does it not even now give the National Assembly that outlook that people are trying to see, for it not to be seen as a rubber stamp National Assembly? It's a big deal for us Nigerians looking at this list.
Jide, what do you think former Governor Tambuwal, within his party, what should he lose?
I don't know. They must have, you cannot discountenance the influence of Wike and other people. And in any case, why must everything go to governors? I mean, this is an argument that can be used to sway people against voting for him. He's had 8 years as governor. He wants to be minority leader again. Are the other people in the Senate not qualified to also taste political power? You know, so...
And before that time, we had 4 years as a speaker.
Yes. So what is the... I can tell you that even across political divides, they will work against him. They will work against him. APC members will work against him.
Yeah.
Because
they don't trust
he ran Atiku's campaign. Wike and his supporters within the National Assembly will work against him. You know, so if the lawmakers were allowed to choose their leaders, definitely someone like Tambuwal will lose out. Will lose out. So he has this day in the sun. He's been speaker. He's been governor for 8 years. So let somebody else get the opportunity. Nigerians don't know the extent of hatred for governors now. They are telling Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu that he should not give ministerial appointment to governors.
That's why like 8 of them lost out in the senatorial seats.
Yes. I think 7. So that animosity towards governors is there. They say we want to deceive ourselves. If people are saying, no, don't give these governors. Don't give these governors. You know, and at the end of the day, yes, the governors helped Asiwaju, especially during the primary election.
You have to look at political expediency.
All of them lost. They couldn't deliver their states. I'm not saying they should not give them ministerial positions. I'm not one of those saying you should not give them. But what people would not want to see is to have governors dominate that National Assembly. Some of them are spent forces. So what people want to see is a preponderance of technocrats, people who have got so much here to offer, not people who barely succeeded in changing the fortunes of their people in their states to come and then serve at federal level. No, that's not what people want to see. And if Asiwaju is accurately gauging the mood of our people, he will know that not many of our people want to see governors return as ministers. I've seen a lot of stories.
Not be crowded by politicians, regular politicians, that have been major actors in the last 60
There are other
years.
things that I can give them. But ministers, in terms of running the government and making
those are your partners in progress.
Changes happen.
Yeah.
They are not the people that our people want to see. They are not. People are tired of them already. Some of them couldn't pay salaries. Some of them were
failed woefully.
Some of them were power drunk, and people are still angry with them. People are happy that they've seen their back. You know, so if you now give them ministerial appointments or you cause them to dominate your cabinet, no, people will turn against the government. And at a time like this, when he's enjoying some level of support, some level of popularity, he has to build on that momentum. You know, and the way to build on that momentum is to come out with that ministerial list. Look at what's it called? The people that he chose as service chiefs.
Yeah.
People are happy. In Kaduna,
fresh start
across the military barracks, come and see jubilation. That yes, Chris Musa, very humble, always taking care of the welfare of his staff, of his officers and men. They were very happy that he was chosen. The same thing with Lagbaja. Everywhere that Lagbaja had served, there was jubilation. You know? So the president has to build on the momentum that he has gained, you know, and choose the right people. He also, this is a president that also cares about public perception. It's different from President Buhari in terms of President Buhari will sometimes not care about what people are thinking. You know, but he cares about public perception, and we expect him to build on that. So I know that with the ministerial list, he can actually gain even more traction in terms of his to build on the good performance that he has demonstrated so far.
That's why I really don't envy the president right now. When you look at the balance of these states and you have to spread this thing across 36 states and you have to choose some people and you have to drop some people. For political expediency, some people are technocrats coming with their, some people are the recycled politicians that they've helped you, your election. Like people are talking about the likes of Nyesom Wike, and you say, yes, this is a man that won a state, and Rivers has not been won since 1999 by the APC, only for the president.
Let me just make a comment on what BQ said about the service. I read something on Twitter today. A man said he once stayed in the estate where General Lagbaja lived, and that you shouldn't underestimate people who use siren when they come to a place. Because there was a day he almost brushed the man's car while he was passing one way within the estate, and the man just calmly went to the side. It was later they told him that that's a general you almost ran into. That he was shocked and humbled by that experience. And those are the kind of people we want to see, not the power-drunk people who are not operations people, no substance, nothing to give to us.
Was that the man might have done?
No. It's just a matter of calling
his voice.
House.
Unleash those voice. Oh God!
Don't even imagine.
The breakfast will be so.
Soldiers are different.
Oh God!
Different. You know those who have substance.
Not their general.
General.
Yeah.
General.
So the other general will call the other rank to come and deal with somebody.
Ordinary soldiers.
And it was
honestly.
And get away. It was even one way he was passing through, according to him.
So put in their guard room.
Till morning. So I think things are unfolding very fast coming to the president. From when he got his nomination up until now, he has been breaking traditions. And I think at the end of the day, based on what we are saying, the perception of Nigerians to governance will change, especially when we are getting the results. What do I mean by that? We are going to get to a point where it will no longer matter that this man is my brother, he must be in government, because the performance of those who are there would have shown us that
silence others,
east, west, or north, what matters is performance. And that's what Nigerians want. Balancing is ongoing. It is good. But at the end of the day, what do we want to do with failed politicians who, because they have contributed something to the election of the president, they want to take the spoils? That shouldn't happen. We must get to a point where we must realize that one of the reasons people are saying governors shouldn't, ex-former governors should not dominate the cabinet is because a lot of them, the bulk of the debts Nigeria has today is from them. They accumulated it because they couldn't think out of the box. We don't need to add to that 77 trillion again, whatever it is. We need to go and work with people who have the capacity to think out of the box. How do we make money? If we make the money, how do we spend it? Look at what came up last week. Nigerians were told that if you drive a car, you must now renew your proof of ownership every year for 1,000 naira. For somebody who drives a car, that's no big deal. But nobody was thinking in that direction before. And the kind of money it can bring into the coffers. You must begin to think. There was this joke last week that maybe government should not have increased or should not have removed subsidy on fuel. They should have gone to put it on beer. Because when they increase the price of beer, people still go to the bar and request for it. Nobody protests. It's a joke, but...
But they won't find enough money.
Yes, they won't find enough, but it's a joke. But those are the realities we are coming to now. That there are certain things that we must now begin to give priority to. Where do we get some money here and there that can ensure that the country runs? And that's what people are focused on now. Who will the president bring to the table that will make a difference?
I'm sure that's his area of...
That's the major issue now. And then, if you tell me, for instance, don't let me mention names, that you are bringing certain elements who have been governors in to be ministers, any ministry they are going to head, I will lose interest in it. Because I know that we can only get the normal from them.
Okay.
And what we want now is the abnormal. Something that can move the country forward.
All right.